Hey there folks, Chompesk here, bringing you another audio commentary, and today we have an orc versus human on Amazonia by the looks of things, and it's going to be between Fly here in the top right, the blue orc, and Yumiko in the orange human in the bottom left. And this is sort of a map we don't see too much of. It's actually, in the scale of things, more of a more recent map, certainly. And it's an interesting map because the human can creep out this camp immediately. This is the same camp you'll notice as you see on Twisted Meadows. It's often crept out first by a human, and but you do get an expansion from this as opposed to just access to a Goblin Lab. So it's actually an alright thing to try and go ahead and do. Meanwhile, the orc. This is one of the few maps where your first can actually work quite well as well. For one thing, if the human is creeping out this camp and you manage to get in here with a lot of wolves, you'll do some good damage. So it's something we could be seeing from Fly. Also, bear in mind that there are these camps which are pretty well defended. These are the creep camps that we see on Terranus Stand defending the shops. So certainly it's no easy feat to get to these shops during the day, and the Blade Master can get there a bit easier because obviously he can windwalk in. And from Yumiko we are seeing this Archmage first, so it is possible we're going to be seeing this quick creeping, but also it's not too far between the two bases, so tier 2 tower rush is also a possibility, as well as obviously just a more standard one base play from both players, and moving up to that tier 2. But considering that there's only one expansion on this base for each player, it's unlikely that we're going to be seeing any sort of a Griffin play from Yumiko, which is still pretty popular, but not quite as popular, and especially considering we're seeing this Archmage first, as opposed to the Mount King first. I think it's pretty likely we're going to be seeing maybe a tier 2 push here from Yumiko. We'll have to see how he wants to get things playing out, as we see this one footman actually going to intercept this peon. We'll have to see whether or not he actually wants to commit his footman to chasing it down, because pretty soon we will be seeing this Blade Master pop out, and at that point he can really start getting some hits up on this footman and causing some creeping problems here from Yumiko, who is bringing now 4 militia, might well just be doing it to creep these two camps here. Obviously these are the Terranus Stand equivalent ones, or more or less. I mean, there's a rogue here instead of a third wizard, but they're pretty similar and they drop similar items as well. And obviously you do need to be careful about creeping out this Goblin Laboratory as well, just because it's more important, I guess, for Elf. But if you do clear it out, your opponent can come in and buy the sappers later on in the game, and then just take out some of your critical buildings really quickly without you noticing. And meanwhile, we do have Blade Master now coming in here, gonna get some hits off on this Archmage, who is almost level 2 now, and did pick up a cause of attack. Meanwhile, no experience on this Blade Master, who hasn't even sold his TP scroll either. Maybe he'll want to keep it, but most of the time you do see it being sold nowadays. Especially Fly likes to do that as well. It's really fits this style very well. And we do see an actually interesting base build here from Fly. Really some offensively placed burrows here, and actually this voodoo launch going up very far forward as well. As we see Fly going to be able to get his first kill there, getting the water elemental kill, and actually now going to be able to pick up a couple creeps here as well. These very nice items, slivers of agility, and actually not going to go for the wizards. They just take they don't do really any damage at all, but their Fly's time is better spent trying to get off another creep back here, and it looks like he's already found this creeping going on. But Yumiko's managed to get the +3 intelligence actually, and has managed to hit tier 2, so really he's gotten all he needs for the next couple minutes at least. Because now that he has that extra mana regeneration, he can try and do some harassment. He can really keep the pressure here on Fly, and Fly really not in as good a position. And Fly actually now going to get some more damage here off on this Archmage. Really, Yumiko does need to be a bit more careful about just keeping his Archmage just sitting around, doing not a whole lot of anything. Either you do want to be attacking with this water elemental and getting your Archmage out of there, or you do want to be keeping your Archmage in there but being prepared with either a boost speed or staff or scroll of teleportation to actually get out of there when the time arises. We know both players now on their way to tier 2. Pretty similar timings as well. We see shops now going down, or already down for both players as well. And we do now see actually a bit more shopping being done here. Archmage picks up the both the boots and the staff teleportation, so really interesting choice here by him. You know, we finally see that TP scroll being sold here by Fly, and I wonder if this means from Yumiko we're going to be seeing a Beastmaster second, setting in the Quill Beast to do some damage, as well as the Beastmaster, and then using the staff teleportation to get out as soon as possible. And we see Yumiko even did buy that Death of appearance as well. So really everything he needs from the shop for the meantime, at least. He'll obviously want to be going back for scrolls of healing, as well as inbound pots later on, but for the meantime he can't buy them yet. And actually Cloak of Shadows, but not enough room here, so this is a bit of a mistake here by Yumiko. Probably should have sold maybe the cause of attack. It's hard to say really, but really having all 6 items this early in the game is not too great, because you want to be getting as much income as possible, and you don't really need 6 items at this point. It's much better to have that free capacity. And we now see Fly going to be finishing up this camp and getting halfway to level 3 now, and as well as we do see a Shadow Hunter now coming out for Fly, but no second here by the looks of things yet for Yumiko, so maybe he's going to be sticking on Archmage for a little bit at least, or maybe he's going to be picking up a Tavern Hero a bit later on as soon as he goes for some sort of push. But he is bringing up Militia actually to creep out this camp, so maybe he's going to be waiting a little while at least, picking up a Wand of Illusion, which is actually pretty useful here, because we're not going to be seeing any Dispel here for Fly, really for quite a long time. Really the only Dispel he could get is if he went to this Merc camp, but that would take quite a bit of creeping left, and really it's going to take too long for him to get anything done with that. So this is very, very good here for Yumiko, who's actually now sold a bunch of items, picked up 3 Ivory Towers, and is going in for the push with a lot of footmen, with 6 footmen, and then bringing in, 7 militia as well, leaving almost nothing for lumbers, 2 on lumber there, as well as no second hero yet, but still, actually getting defend now, so really, ooh, look at this, getting the Fire Lord as well. Good choice for one of you. He's not going to have any experience on the second hero, because the Fire Lord's a fantastic level 1 hero, as he now moves in and going to put down these towers right now. We're going to have to see where he really wants to be putting them down. Looks like he's putting them on quite aggressively here, and we'll have to see how Fly wants to react. Fly now moving in, his Shadow Hunter is out, but actually, actually look at this, he's gone for Serpent Ward instead of Hex. That's very, very smart. They're not picking the skill until he knows what's coming at him, because that Serpent Ward is so useful, in the Hex not really too useful at this point, as we can now see the Blade Master is trying to chase down this Archmage. Archmage just going to run around, they'll really keep that Blade Master's DPS busy. Meanwhile, the Archmage's DPS is mostly in the Water Elemental, so the Blade Master does eventually come back, and we now see these lava spawns have split and are doing even more damage here. So much pain coming down, but 3 Serpent Wards, they don't cost much mana, and they actually have some decent DPS if you can keep them alive, and it looks like Fly has managed to do so. The Archmage has come back in, does still have this Potion of Healing, so really quite durable at this point, as Fly does lose 1 grunt there. Defend now being used really nicely there for, to great effect, but Yumiko actually not taking it off here, and that couple of footmen, he is losing 1 there, but this, look at this Demolisher pops out and does manage to get to safety, as well as this tower going to be finishing now for a Fly. But meanwhile, we do have 2 towers, or 3 towers now finishing, including 1 Arcane Tower. Dust goes off there, but doesn't manage to catch that Blade. He does catch the Blade Master. Very nice there by Yumiko. Gonna really prevent the Blade Master from doing too much more harassment because of the threat of that Arcane Tower, and actually the +1 armor upgrade is done as well for him. So really useful upgrades here for Yumiko, who's now finally taking down a couple of these wards, but they're still doing some tremendous damage here, as Yumiko actually not with the greatest position now, going to want to pull back a bit, and he does indeed, but these defend footmen are actually absorbing so much damage from the watchtowers, from the burrows, and from the serpent wards, really not taking any damage really at all from them, so really it's not the best for Fly to be focusing them down, but really unless he can focus down the heroes, his only other option is the summons, which are even less useful to be focusing down. We know Yumiko now power building a shop, so he can probably buy some arcane scrolls, maybe buy healing potion or some more ivory towers. We'll have to see what his goal is, as we see another Demolisher now being bought. This first one in the back is doing some good work, but really, this Demolisher in the back, so low on health, but it looks like it just manages to be taken down. Very nice there by Yumiko. It's very worth committing to taking those down, because they can just lay so much damage down upon you, and there's really very little you can do without running into the serpent wards, towers, the burrows, everything. Really high DPS coming out from them if you try and move in to take them down. And we now see Yumiko being forced to try and repair these towers. And back at home from Yumiko, we're not seeing any progression in his tech, because he did bring all of these peasants along. So he is going to be forced to stick here. He won't be able to transition into maybe Sorks or something like that. And we do actually have more ivory towers now being put down here. You see, it's better to use the ivory towers there, just because you can get them down absolutely immediately. You don't need to have peasants sitting there building it for ages, so it does get down, and you do get much more of the elements of surprise. And looks like the Demolishers are going to try and do some damage to it, but we see this 1 guard tower already upgrading. Will be in the range of the peons at the gold line as well, so really important that Fly dashes take those down. But Fly losing a lot now. He's already lost his altar, and now by the looks of things he's going to be taking a bit of damage on this 1 Demolisher. The defense being so important here for Yumiko, as actually he's coming in now, and Yumiko could be able to maybe take down one of these burrows as well. So this could be very nice here for Yumiko. So you now see the serpent wards doing some good damage still, but really not being able to do the damage that they really need to, as another Demolisher pops out. But nice block here with this 1 footman there by Yumiko. Does manage to get the kill before it gets to safety, leaving only 2 Demolishers left here for Fly, as we see more burrows now being built in a panic in the back here for Fly, who's at 42 out of 40 food now, so can't continue building anything else for a little while at least. As we see now this 1 tower being mass repaired here, but it looks like it won't be quite enough, as this tower's doing a lot of damage now, and it's a shame there's no arcane tower in range, because really draining the mana off this 90 mana Shadowhunter could be very, very useful. Actually, this Shadowhunter very, very close to level 2 now at this point. This Fire-Lord meanwhile, bear in mind, has very, very little experience, because it's mostly been tower warfare at this point, and the killing of only peasants and footmen and peons, which don't give a huge amount of experience. And so Fly now rebuilding more bros after that one was cancelled there in the far back. And we now see the tower's actually doing a fair bit of damage now for Yumiko. Really, the answer by Fly is just inadequate at this point. The Demolisher's not being able to do enough damage quickly enough, and it looks like he hasn't really been focusing the peasants either with the Demolishers, which is something you can do, because obviously Demolishers don't do that much damage to DR towers, which now have the secondary masonry upgrade as well. Really, really nice there for Yumiko, as he does lose another footman, but he can just continue to beat those out pretty quickly without really having to worry about the cost of losing them. And these Serpent Wards actually have been so effective here for Fly that now that he's hit now that he's hit level 2, he will have to think about using some healing waves in dire situations, so maybe he'll be wanting to retain some mana in case his Blade Master gets low or something like that. But the Blade Master has a potion of healing, so maybe he'll be okay. Meanwhile, the Demolisher now down to 15 hit points is taken down, and so that only leaves one Demolisher left for Fly. Things are really starting to look very, very dire for Fly in this protracted battle. As now the Blade Master down to very, very low health does pop that healing potion at the last second. This healing salve on the Shadowhunter has been going off for a long time now and hasn't been cancelled there by Yumiko, which is surprising because that Archmage has pretty good range. You can normally get in there and get off that one shot you need, or even you can send in the summon to do it, or maybe even get a tower to do it. Really, just cancelling that salve can be pretty important, and we do see it's finally happened now with that Shadowhunter almost back up to full health. And now one more Water Elemental comes in, tries to take down the Demolisher, but the mass repair here is just too much, and these footmen really aren't going to be effective enough with the Blade Master now back in the fray as well. Even though he's not being healed by the salve at the moment, it's better that he gets rid of these footmen and keeps his Demolisher alive, then he can go back and heal up a bit later. And it's amazing actually that Fly's managed to keep his income going. He does still have 5 on gold, so really in a decent economic position still, but it's just this pressure is just too much here from Yumiko. Really, how much can Fly really produce safely? He's producing another Demolisher. He's going to need to make sure that he rallies it out this way and into this defensive position, as opposed to sort of up and around, which is what he's been doing so far. Meanwhile, the two heroes of Yumiko, very, very committed. Hex goes off now by Yumiko, and actually that means he hasn't chosen Healing Wave, but the Blade Master doesn't manage to do enough damage, and now the Fire-Lord has been trapped in here, but looks like he will be able to make a run for it. The Shadowhunter is very, very low on health here. Very, very nice block here by Fly, but it's not going to be quite enough as both of Yumiko's heroes get out with very, very low health, and Yumiko will now need to spend a moment trying to heal up, and Blade Master might be interested in trying to go off and cancel the healing there if he can pop. Actually, he has a lot of mana, so this Blade Master can just Windwalk out and try and do some damage here, and obviously then Windwalk a second time to get out before the towers do too much damage to him. I think that'll probably be a pretty good decision here for Fly at this point, because really the heroes being low on health is such a risk to Yumiko, and it means he constantly has to keep them in a defensive position, only attacking things like this Barris. Meanwhile, this Demolisher has popped out but hasn't moved into a more defensive position, and this Lava Spot now being very, very aggressive. He's going to try and cancel the Clarity here on the Shadowhunter, and will he be able to do it? No, he doesn't. The Clarity continues to go off here for Fly, and that will mean that he's actually going to be able to put down a lot more of these Serpent Wards and also threaten with the Hex. And Baron Madagascar would only have been level 1 healing, no healing for the Shadowhunter, which is going to be a bit annoying here for this Blade Master, who has now hit a very, very decent level 4 already, so he's going to be able to do a lot of damage now, but obviously you can't Critical Strike building, and being forced to Windwalk away there, and going to stay in Windwalk while he salves up, so he can't be cancelled, just because there is obviously this Water Elemental and a couple of footmen around, which will be able to do a bit of damage. Actually, the Blade Master now pops out of Windwalk, so he can take these down, which is pretty surprising, really, all things considered, because he really does need to get this healing. He does start healing again, but really that's a lot of lost time healing when he probably could have taken care of it with these bros. Bear in mind, these bros all have one peon in them, and actually this burrow has one peon in it as well, and that's generally a pretty good way to deal with things, unless there's one area which is particularly in desperate need. And the Blade Master comes out of Windwalk, gets off one hit there, and manages to get away, but the Archmage does get that one hit off. The Blade Master goes into Windwalk form, but it's half a second too late, and he does lose both his Clarity and his salve, and he has to re-salve up. He's not even going to re-Clarity at this point, so really big loss there for Fly, as we see more towers now going up for Yumiko. Really this pressure just going off so powerfully now on all sides of Fly's base, and Fly now going to be able to take down one of these towers. It has been cancelled though, and looks like the second one goes down without being cancelled there. So level 3 now hitting for this Shadowhunter, and that means that the wards are going to become so powerful now, because that level 2 ward is actually pretty decent DPS, especially against constructing building. But actually this one tower does now finish. This tower probably going to be cancelled in time, but it looks like we do have Fly now moving his Demolisher up even to try and take down some of these upper towers here, but it does need to be careful because of these heroes can come in and very quickly snipe off a Demolisher that's not being repaired quickly enough. And it looks like Fly now moving his heroes down, really conscious of the fact that these heroes could be the linchpin to Yumiko's victory or Yumiko's defeat. As we see Fly now being able to barely fight things off here, finally using his Demolisher to target down the peons or the peasants, and there's no peasants left now for Yumiko, so this is going to be a bit of a worse position, though bear in mind he can still build towers with ivory towers, you just can't repair them. As you see one more footman coming in here, as we see a nice hex goes off, and the Blade Master does manage to take down that Fire Lord. It's only level 1, bear in mind still, after this entire battle, still level 1, so he will be back very, very soon, and this Archmage still only level 3, but he is pretty close to level 4 at this point. Meanwhile, much better hero levels here for Fly, as he's moving in. And maybe Fly could be able to do a bit of damage here to some of the Demolishers. It looks like that one Water Elemental is quickly dispatched up, and this Footman going to be taken down as well before he can get rid of that Demolisher. And one low grunt here, I think he's actually been hold positioned here by the thing, which is really smart because it's going to stop any units from getting up and around the gold mine there, and that's just so important that the paths are restricted, and Yumiko realizing that the hero level is overwhelmingly favored against him, GG's out of that, and Fly takes it with a heroic defense there after so much battling for so long. Really Fly was just managed to irk his way back in there, and really managed to show how to hold off a well executed tower rush there. So really nice play there by both players. So I hope you enjoyed it. Very, actually not that quick, but long tower rush really in what should have been a quick game, but really fantastic defense there by Fly. And I'll see you soon, guys, for some more games. WCG coming up actually as well, and I am super excited for that. See the return of likes of Moon and Lynn really playing for the one prize that really neither of them has, and both of them really want. And actually Rotterdam's going to be commentating as well, and he's one of the commentators for Warcraft 3 who I absolutely adore, so I'm definitely going to be enjoying that, and I hope you all enjoy watching that as well. Definitely make sure to tune in, and I'll see you guys later, folks. Thanks for watching as ever.